Most people wake up each morning already defeated. Not because life is unbearable, but because they don't believe the day in front of them matters. The alarm rings, the body rises, but the person inside never really shows up. That is the hard truth. Many of us are not tired from effort, but from emptiness. If you stay with me for a few minutes, I want to offer you something more than comfort. You will not leave with a quick motivational slogan or a feel-good trick. Instead, you will walk away with a clearer understanding of why purpose feels so distant and how ancient, practical philosophy can help you reclaim it quietly from the inside out. We like to tell ourselves that people wake without purpose because their lives are small, their jobs are boring, or the world is unjust. And sometimes that is true. But the deeper reason is more uncomfortable. Most of us have outsourced the meaning of our lives to things we do not control. We ask our work, our relationships, our status, our notifications to tell us who we are. When they fail, we do not just lose a plan, we lose ourselves. Consider the modern morning. Before you have even taken a breath of fresh air, your phone tells you what to feel. An email that tightens your chest, a headline that inflames your fear, a post that awakens your envy. Your mind is immediately pulled into a world where your value is measured by comparison, urgency, and noise. No wonder purpose feels vague. In that first vulnerable moment of the day, you are already living someone else's priorities. The Stoics would not have been surprised by this. Long before smartphones, Epictetus observed that people willingly hand their peace over to whatever they cannot control. We think our suffering is caused by circumstances. They argued that much of it comes from our judgments about those circumstances. Here is the reversal. It is not that life must change before you can wake with purpose. It is that your relationship with life must change. Another hard truth. Most people secretly expect purpose to feel like passion, intensity, and constant clarity. When they do not feel that, they conclude, "I have no purpose." But what if this expectation itself is the problem? What if purpose, as the Stoics understood it, is not an emotion to chase, but a direction to practice, especially when you do not feel inspired? Imagine a nurse working the night shift, exhausted, underpaid, and uncelebrated. She does not wake up thrilled. She may not feel aligned or motivated. Yet every night she chooses to show up, to reduce someone's pain, to steady a frightened hand. From a Stoic perspective, her purpose is not in the feeling, but in the choice, to do what is within her power, with integrity, in service of something beyond her comfort. Passion may come and go. The direction remains. We are told to follow our dreams, as though purpose lives in extraordinary outcomes. But philosophy quietly offers another reversal. Your deepest purpose is revealed not in what you dream of achieving, but in how you handle what you cannot avoid: fear, failure, pain, and uncertainty. The question is not, what do I want to be someday? But how do I choose to be today in this very limited, very real situation? Consider failure. Many people wake up with a weight on their chest, not from what is happening today, but from what already happened. The business that collapsed, the relationship that ended, the exam they failed years ago. They believe that failure disqualified them from a meaningful life. The Stoics would say the opposite. Failure is raw material. It is neutral until you meet it with either self-pity or courage. The same event can harden you into resentment or deepen you into wisdom. That choice, that inner posture, is where purpose quietly begins. Now a deeper reflection. What if the true source of anxiety in the morning is not that we have too little control, but that we try to control almost everything? We worry about other people's opinions, global events, future outcomes, and imagined disasters. Our mind races through scenarios we cannot touch. In doing so, we neglect the one field where our freedom is real, our own character, our own next action. A simple, modern example. You open your calendar and see a difficult meeting ahead. You instantly think, "They will judge me. This will go badly. I'm not ready." You try to control their reactions in your mind, rehearse 100 outcomes, and drain your energy before the day has started. A Stoic shift would be small but profound. Their opinion is not fully mine to govern. My preparation, my honesty, my composure, these are mine. I will focus on those. Purpose moves from the vague hope of being liked to the concrete intention of being truthful and prepared. Before we continue, if this reflection is resonating with you and you'd like to explore these ideas more deeply, you might consider subscribing to the channel and leaving a thoughtful comment about where you personally feel most stuck. It helps shape future conversations that truly matter. Let this be the end of the first movement of our reflection. The second begins now, where we turn more directly to the daily practice of waking with intention. Another hard truth: most people do not lack time. They lack a hierarchy of what truly matters to them. They wake up and fall instantly into tasks, messages, and habits, but have never clearly decided what kind of person they are trying to become. Without that decision, the day cannot possibly feel purposeful because there is no inner standard against which to measure it. Marcus Aurelius, an emperor constantly pulled by duty and chaos, began his mornings by reminding himself, "You will meet ungrateful, arrogant, difficult people today, and still, your task is to keep your own mind steady and your actions just." Notice the shift. He did not ask the world to be easier. He asked himself to be stronger, clearer, more aligned with his principles. Purpose, for him, was not an external mission statement. It was a daily, lived answer to the question, what is up to me today, and who do I choose to be in the face of all this? A practical example. Imagine starting your day not with your inbox, but with a single, deliberate question written on a piece of paper. What kind of person do I want to be between now and tonight? Perhaps your answer is calm, honest, and attentive. Throughout the day, moments will test that. An argument with a partner, a demanding client, a sudden inconvenience. Each encounter becomes a chance to practice your answer. You may fail often. That does not mean you have no purpose. It means your purpose is real enough to reveal your limits and invite you to grow. Here is another reversal. We assume freedom means doing whatever we feel like. But the Stoics saw true freedom as the ability not to be dragged helplessly by every impulse and fear. Many people wake without purpose because they are internally enslaved to approval, to comfort, to distraction. They do what is easiest, not what is right or meaningful. The day is no longer chosen, it is simply reacted to. Picture someone who cannot bear a moment of silence. The second they feel boredom or unease, they reach for a screen. Every time a difficult feeling appears, loneliness, regret, uncertainty, they numb it with stimulation. On the surface, they look busy. Inside, they are drifting. The Stoic invitation is not to eliminate pain, but to turn toward it with curiosity and courage. What is this discomfort trying to show me about how I live? What value of mine is being betrayed or ignored? In this way, pain becomes a guide, not an enemy. Anxiety, too, transforms under this light. When you wake with a racing mind, the instinct is to fight or suppress it. But what if you treated anxiety as a signal that your attention has wandered too far into what you cannot command? You gently bring it back, to your breath, to your immediate surroundings, to the next wise, small action. This is not dramatic. It will not impress anyone. But slowly, you reclaim the morning as a space of choice, not of chaos. Another quiet truth. Meaning rarely arrives with fanfare. It grows in the soil of repetition, in the way you speak to your family, the integrity with which you handle money, the honesty of your work even when no one is watching. The world may never applaud these things. Yet, when your head touches the pillow at night, there is a different kind of peace available. Not the thrill of having been seen, but the calm of having been true. Think of a parent who returns home after a long day, exhausted, tempted to escape into a screen. Instead, they sit on the floor with their child, listen to their small stories, and offer undivided attention. That moment may never appear on a resume, but it is a decision that says, this is who I am, this is what I stand for. In such choices, meaning accumulates quietly, like layers of sediment forming rock. So why do most people wake up without purpose? Not because purpose does not exist for them, but because they look for it in flashes of excitement instead of patterns of character. They wait for a life-changing moment, rather than treating each morning as a life-defining opportunity to practice courage, clarity, and care. The invitation, then, is simple and demanding. Tomorrow, when you wake, do not ask, "Do I feel inspired?" Ask, "What is mine to do today, in alignment with the person I most respect in myself?" Let that question shape a single concrete intention, one honest conversation, one task done with full attention, one fear faced without running away. If you do this, you may still have hard days. You will still feel doubt, sadness, and fatigue. But slowly, a quiet strength will begin to grow beneath them, a sense that you are no longer merely being lived by circumstances, but are participating in your own fate. And perhaps, over time, you will notice a subtle change. The alarm rings, you open your eyes, and instead of emptiness, you feel a small, steady sentence forming within you. Not a shout, not a slogan, just a calm recognition. Today matters because I will decide how to meet it. Wake up tomorrow not to search for your purpose in the distance, but to practice it in the smallest choice you are about to make.